Welcome to From a Certain Point of Skew, the only Star Wars podcast to have seen not one, but two different Obi-Wan Kenobi trailers before and after Disney Plus Day. I'm Jason the Angry Ginger, or the Jedi Guy, broadcasting live from inside Wookiee Poo Studios. I am not alone. Please allow me to introduce your favorite wretched scum, scoundrels, and smugglers. First up, your neighbor, my neighbor from Corellia, Neighbor Cole.
Hello.
Greetings.
Thank you. Thank you for greeting me. I was actually left in the dark about that Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer until I realized that
I don't believe it.
Our favorite third micer let me know that it was on Disney Plus. And
is that the
remember the one that went down?
The message that he was writing you about, and you sent a giffer. What was your response? I fucking laughed so loud the other day.
Me?
Yeah, you sent him some response like, oh wow, I can't believe that. I'll look it up. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, anyways, I was trying to get a hold of it was leaked, the sizzle reel, right?
Yes.
Or whatever, and then I wasn't able to procure it in time. I didn't get to it fast enough, and then they took it down, and then they brought it back, and I was able to find it on Disney Plus. But I searched for it for like an hour. Not even like an hour, but I was going through it. Matt's like, "Oh, do this. Like, go to the bottom and look for this." And then I just pulled up my search bar and I typed in Kenobi, and it was the first one that popped up. Finally got to it.
You really dug hard.
Almost fails. We are not alone here in this little Star Wars universe / podcast that we have. We have a third micer coming in hot from the Skype lines. He's our favorite third micer, and he is the darkest of the Darths.
Certainly my favorite.
Darkest of the Darths.
Mm-hmm.
Alliteration aside, welcome to the show, Matthew. Hey, Matt.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, how are you? I don't know why we made eye contact right
wow,
there.
that was that was kind of sexy.
That was very, I don't know what that was.
Well, this is my last show.
I'm sweating. Ooh. Hi.
After dark.
You see how his voice changes when you take your shirt off?
Yeah, he said, oh, yeah.
He got the pipes on blast here.
I can put the hoodie on if it's going to be an issue, you guys. Oh, my God.
Oh, let's turn down the sex appeal.
I'm sorry.
I'm all right. I'm a little sad still by what we got or didn't get yesterday for Disney Plus Day, but we'll get into that shortly. But otherwise, hanging in there.
You know, we put a lot of excitement into that, like in preparation, because it was all over the webs that this stuff was going to happen. And then it was just like a big shit on, hey, if you're a Star Wars fan, Mickey Mouse is giving the middle finger, even though he's got 4 fingers, I think.
Matt, you should join me, because we should blame Jason and his fucking superhero bullshit for this. Because
there's a lot.
There's a lot of Marvel stupid stuff and like all this blah, blah, blah. We subscribe to Disney Plus for one fucking reason, folks, and that's for Star Wars content. Am I right?
Every Marvel character has their own show. Like everyone's getting one.
Yeah,
they're just giving them out like fucking candy.
Shang-Chi's got one now.
No, he has a film.
Okay, whatever that is. I see it in my Disney Plus, and I'm like, okay.
But I woke up a little bit later on Friday and was like scrolling through. I'm like, I'm going to go back on the Disney Plus Twitter feed and go from the bottom and come up and just like get the real exciting moment.
Something, right?
And I'm like, Marvel. Like, fuck. And then it's like some Home Alone reboot.
Oh.
All this different shit. And I'm like, where is it? And, and I'm seeing the trends on Twitter and it's like Kenobi. And I'm like, I'm not going to click on it yet. I want to get to the actual. I was very sad. It was a very melancholic Friday.
Yeah. Are you still searching for that DM?
I am. I'm really upset because maybe I had a dream about you guys.
Well, Matt, why don't you give us the particulars?
I was going to say, while you're doing that, you, the listener, can find everything about our show at FromACertainPointOfSkew.com. Please follow us on Twitter at FACPAPod and please interact with us. We love that. FACPAPod@gmail.com is our email if you want to send something in for our Maul Bag, and we will address that on the show. And also, we are a part of the Podawan Podcast Network at Podawans on Twitter. And speaking of that, another episode coming out. Oh, did another episode with them.
What?
Exactly. You're too busy in your phone.
Oh, that woke me up.
Yeah, he got you now.
Bitch.
Pulled you out.
Something that was pulled together late, and we recorded something earlier
it's
this morning when
always
you guys
late.
were at work.
Yeah, most affairs happen at the spur of the moment.
You're
typically.
right. I didn't bother to bother you guys because it was late. I mean, late for him is 5 o'clock.
Yeah, and he's subverting us. He's like, oh, well, they're usually in bed by 10.
I'm doing this for them.
So, you guys want to record it? We were going to get you guys on, but we're recording at midnight. Your time. I don't know what to tell you.
We're gonna record our own. Cole, I'm gonna reach out to a few people, even if they're not part of the network.
We'll call it the Nodawans Network.
Yeah.
We'll make our own.
Oh,
Exactly.
the Nodawan.
Yeah.
You guys are so caught up in your job that I couldn't get your attention.
Tryst.
The Acolyte tryst. Yeah, we're super busy defending a nuclear reactor.
Right. I mean, we're sorry.
Well, get that Wi-Fi working better, and we can dial you into the call.
Fuck that Wi-Fi.
Yes, truth. Truth be told.
I've had better nights on 56K.
Oh, that sucks. Anyway, if you want, I will probably get that out sometime this week. So if you go, there is an actual feed for the Podawans Podcast Network for these things. You guys will have to get on the next one. We might do a little holiday the holiday special. We might do an episode for that.
We might do one.
See if you guys are available.
I like that. We might get you guys in on the next one.
Probably Christmas Day.
Yeah. I figured you guys were busy.
You have all your other podcasts. You got all your other, obligations.
That's true.
So
He sounds like you never pay me any attention anymore.
Yeah.
right, yeah. I'm flipping this shit right
I
on
had to
you.
do it because I'm lonely. I
I'm the
still love
victim
you.
here.
You drove me into
Yeah.
the arms of another podcast.
10 podcasters.
Whatever.
Liar.
Yeah. So we have an interesting show this week while you're over there
Yes.
playing around.
Sure.
Well, I do. I found it right here. So Matt starts venting about this is horse shit. Even if it's Disney's physical Q4, that's July through September. Does this mean they go Book of Boba Fett December, February, Bad Batch March, May, Kenobi June, July? And you said fucking Will Ferrell throwing a fit. This wedding.
This wedding is horse shit?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I asked for salmon.
Yeah.
I said I didn't want salmon. I said it 3 times.
I fucking saw it and just started laughing.
Yeah.
That's all you put.
Well,
I was very emotional that day.
yeah, he was having a rough one.
Yeah. So what's on the show today?
All right, on the show today, we've got a question of the week from mine truly, sitting across from me, my real neighbor, not Corellia. In the news, we've got Old Republic or High Republic. Pick one, motherfuckers. You got the Acolyte. It's filming in 22. Disney Plus Day. We're going to talk about that. Maybe a little bit more than we've already alluded to. We've got a Maul Bag, 1 email. It's long. Stay tuned. It's broke down into 76 sections, and it's all about you.
It is?
Yeah, like it is like
I peeked at it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then we're gonna end with a FACPAtoid that I've got in there. So I guess without further ado, let's get into that question of the week.
Alrighty. I can take this. I'll take lead on this, boys.
You got it?
Yeah.
All right.
It's good to decide these things on air. Gives Matt
I
some things
appreciate
to edit
that.
out.
I know.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's talk about testicles again and see what stays in.
That all made it.
Did it really?
Oh yeah.
I haven't listened to it yet.
Question of the week. It was recently brought to our attention that some folks, i.e. listeners who are too cowardly to submit their questions to FACPApod@gmail.com, have taken umbrage with the way that Han Solo died in Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Specifically, that he was taken out by his kinfolk in a rather unspectacular manner, not befitting the weight of his character that he brought to the series. That being said, what are your opinions on how our Han, old buddy, old pal, should have gone out?
What was the listener's problem with it? Because I think that it added a lot of weight to that movie.
I think so too. That was my argument.
Mm-hmm.
But he just said that it was just too nonchalant.
Too emotional?
No, not too emotional. I was emotional when that happened.
Right.
I thought that was like I don't ever see anything coming because I'm like a small child. But you said you knew it was coming like 20 minutes before it happened.
Yeah, you know.
Or you said you knew it was coming before the show
Well,
started.
he told Leia, he's like, I know what I have to do or some shit, right? Like,
Yeah.
you knew what was going to happen. And because, he'd been begging to die since 1982.
I never even think of stuff like that. And I'm just too much. I guess I'm enjoying the moment of the film. You know what I mean? I'm not speculating.
right.
I'm just like, show me. You know what I mean? That's just the way.
Really pretty colors.
The setup with him walking out on the catwalk, it was building a moment. So you knew it wasn't going to be like he was just going to be like, okay, Dad, I'll go with you. Something bad was going to happen.
Right.
And then the fucking clouds covered, right? Like, didn't it? The light went away right as it
As the
happened.
sun- yeah, as
there's
the
like
sun-
there's a whole visual with it.
Yeah, they're draining the power of the sun, right? And then it finally
Everything happens
Went
at
out.
once.
went dark.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't have an issue with it. Like, I don't know how else you would kill him off, right? I mean, either he's saving a character, which, like, in this movie, it was all new characters. So, really, I don't think it would have added a bunch of weight for him to be saving Rey or anyone else. He kind of became, like, that father figure or whatever to Rey. But I think the fact that, like, it made Kylo, like, confirm, like, I'm on the dark side now, right? So, I think it put a lot there. It gave, like, Leia... I mean, there was story purpose for her. I think it worked. One of the things that did work was him coming back, because I mean, they weren't bringing Carrie Fisher back for that bit part. So I think it worked better that way for him to come back as that voice. So I don't have a problem with that. You and I were talking on the way home. I love episode 7.
Yeah, I loved it. It was such a throwback in a way to the original trilogy that we loved. And so it felt like it from the first scene, like that. And right away in that first scene, you just felt like you were right back in Star Wars. It was really cool. And I just felt like you said, I think they wanted to add weight to his evil. They wanted to show you that he was more than just this like kind of crybaby in a costume, acting tough. He actually would do something awful.
Cement himself to the dark, like basically cement himself into the dark side, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, I mean, you can't just want to be Vader or be better than Vader. You're going to have to act on that, and he did. And that's when you're like, oh, this guy kind of means business. Like, what's next? So, I was in for it, but I guess if we got to play the game, right? So,
my idea would have just been like if he were like just a way for him to go out would be like as a smuggler on a mission, right? Like goes out in a blaze of glory type of a thing, like
that whole scene where he still plays the smuggler. That was one of my favorite parts of the movie. Where he's like stuck in between two different factions and he's lied to both of them and all this shit. Like that whole scene was just fucking great.
His smuggler's luck finally runs out or something, and he's just kind of like, all right, Chewie, I guess this is our last one. And they like fly into a nebula.
They just like
or something.
hug it out.
Yeah. They dap. And
they die in a blaze of glory.
Yeah. I don't know, something like that, like going out like as a scoundrel or, just going out and finally like, because he's always walking that razor's edge, like playing two factions against each other, or he's always in debt to the Hutts or, something crazy. Reckless.
There should have been there was a scene, but they cut it out. They said it was too risky, where it was actually like they made him dress in Slave Leia's costume.
Okay.
And then Chewie had to have at it with him. And it was like that one video with the horse. Han couldn't take it.
2 horses, 1 cup?
I don't know what it's called. I just remember a podcast was talking about it earlier this week, so it's in my head.
The editing brush is getting heavier as Matt loses his fucking
Well,
cool.
I'm trying to see if we can make it to 50 with Matt.
We're getting close. That's a different way for him to be impaled, I guess.
Right.
So that works in his anus. Yeah.
It was I mean, in the end, he died the same. It was just more visually appealing for a PG audience.
What is that from, Anus?
Anus is Borat.
Yeah, Borat.
Very nice.
I don't know. I think the only other thing I could think is maybe like saving Chewie or something, something like his old buddy. Like it all comes back to that friendship, that his longest lasting relationship over his life. Something more tied to that. Because I think, like a lot of people, I was disappointed in the way that they showed Chewie walk right by Leia.
Yeah.
And Rey and Leia have that moment. It's like, it should really be Leia and Chewie's moment.
He's an animal. He's got no feelings.
When he catches Leia scissoring with Mon Mothma. then they both tag up on him and kill him to keep their secret lesbian affair.
That got dark.
God.
You say anus to me, and it just starts sparking creativity in my brain.
50 Shades of Leia.
50 Shades of, I don't know what you call that. What color are they always in? Off white? Taupe? 50 Shades of Taupe?
Eggshell?
Eggshell.
A new Taupe.
Episode title right there.
I can see Cole walking into the writer's room being like, now stay with me here. Yeah. And he lays it all out and they're like, we've gotten a box of your things and we're escorting you to the door now.
We're going to go for a ride.
You're
So
not
I'm
taking
going to need you to go along with me here. Just let me play this whole thing out with me.
Favloni, grab that ficus plant. They're kicking me. Give me that. Bring it. You're not getting my ficus.
Now, Jay, you had an idea? Yeah, it's about horses. No, not that one.
Who brought these guys into
Where
the
do these
writer's room?
FACPAtoids come from? These
Yeah, no
FACPAtoids.
shit. God, what a terrible idea. Well, good question.
Well, and that's why you've got Rise of Skywalker, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, should we get to the news?
Let's do it.
So we mentioned last week that there were rumors swirling about Rogue Squadron being pushed out to 24 instead of 23, and that a different film might take its place. And there was the rumor was that it was going to be an Old Republic related film. And but then 2 things kind of came up this week, and that was one is there was a story in the Hollywood Reporter that basically said Patty Jenkins is too loaded with work, too many projects, and is unable. They're not going to make that timeline, so they pushed it back. Which to me sounds like there's more at play than just that. Don't you think? Don't you think there's some script overhauling going on?
Well, they it's one of the excuses they gave was there's still some work to be done on the script, and because they work on so many projects at once, they had another one that was ready that they could just swap with. But Jenkins has got Wonder Woman 3 that was just greenlit. She's working on a Cleopatra movie that she has been promised is going to be made, and that's going to take a while and a fortune to do. And I think there's another movie that she's working on too, like a passion project or something. So she's got like 3 in the bay besides Star Wars. Now, I don't think that it's not she doesn't want to do this, but I don't think she has the time for it. If anything, I see it happening where she stays on as a producer or maybe as a screenwriting credit if this gets made. I don't know. I'll be surprised if this is something that gets shot in the next year or two. Not with her.
Yeah, well, the way they were the rumor, I think it was on that Cinelink site. I think that's Jordan Mason's site, and he was saying it was like they kind of wanted to make sure they didn't rush it and fuck it up. So they're like, let's pump the brakes so that you can do this other shit before you have time to focus. But you're right. Maybe it ends up being something where she's just involved and not the main director of it. I don't know, but it sounds like 24 even is probably optimistic.
I'll tell you, Kennedy, she gets a little trigger friendly with the directors. She's like, first she's like, you're hired. Then, well, how are we gonna get out of this?
She plays fast. She plays fast and loose.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Trigger happy.
Yes.
Is that what I was looking for? Did I say it wrong?
You said trigger friendly.
Trigger friendly.
That's what yeah.
Yeah, that can work as well. They said that it actually might be a High Republic, not an Old Republic film. That there's actually one of each of those that are potentially in the works, and that the High Republic film might come first. And I had mentioned last week how I thought I could see how they're like aligning the Old Republic along with the reboot of that video game. But with all the High Republic books coming out and people eating those up, I could see them wanting to make a movie to kind of get a hold of that momentum.
That makes sense.
There was going to be an Old Republic, but then it got high.
Yep, and then I got high.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
High Republic. You're welcome. You guys are welcome.
I don't know. Like I see. It doesn't surprise me that they're working in the background on all of this stuff, right? But it doesn't make sense to me to have all of these different eras coming out at once. Like I can see the High Republic because it's a big production line for them right now, or a publication line for them right now. So visually, that makes sense for that to come out at some point. And by the time that rolls out, maybe this Mandalorian, like all the stuff they're doing in the next few years, will be done. So, but to have a High Republic and then go back to the Old Republic and balancing that back and forth, plus they're, they got a movie that takes place at the franchise after Skywalker stuff. I don't know.
Right. Instead of just doing like, okay, let's do 3 High Republic movies. Then we'll go back and do Old Republic. Then we'll do sequels, whatever. Yeah, I can see
Old Republic. If Old Republic is something they're going to do, I'll bet that's going to be a Disney Plus show.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, we'll see.
Find out. And just on a side note too, there was that whole, there's supposed to be the Feige movie, and that story came out where is it Chloe Zhao, I think is her name, was like, oh, she's going to be the director, and like within a couple days, it was like, nope, it's not. She's not directing.
She's all but signed, and then it was nope.
It's just gone.
Yeah.
Quickly changing world there. The only other thing I was going to mention is that the rumors about the Acolyte, that it's going to start filming in May. So it's going to film May to November of next year. They said it's going to film in the U.S., not at Pinewood. So you'd assume they'd rely heavily on the volume. And if that's filming then and they're wrapping up in November, if that schedule keeps, you would think we're probably looking at a late 23 release maybe.
At least summer.
Yeah.
Summer of
23. Yeah,
23.
exactly. Second half of the year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So we will see. That's it for news.
That's it. Wow.
Yeah. Well, so much of the news is surrounding what I've written down in my notes as Disney nonplussed day.
Well, I guess regarding Star Wars.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Clever play on words.
Well, the only thing, so there was a sizzle reel that got leaked the day before that was actually something they showed investors maybe a year before, right?
I think it was at Investor Day, wasn't it not?
I've heard it was Investor Day,
last
and
November,
someone said it was something they showed recently, but it was just supposed to be for investors. But it looks like, I think it's for a year ago when they did the big thing.
I don't think anything had been filmed at that point. I mean, judging from what they showed, which was really nothing, it was a lot of like... there
was definitely nothing filmed in that
No.
It was just concept art.
Yeah, it was interviews with Deborah Chow and Ewan McGregor, and then it was old shots from old movies,
Yeah.
And then just concept art. And the concept art was really the interesting thing of the whole bit.
Right.
As much as it was nice to hear Ewan McGregor, talk about it and stuff like that, the big reveal, if there was one, would have been the concept art that they shared, which was interesting.
Did you, I didn't get to go down the rabbit hole to see if anyone was like, oh, this is definitely what this could be in this piece of concept art. Did you go down that rabbit hole at all?
Not terribly much, but I mean, there's one that's obvious, and that is the one that looks like the Inquisitor getting off a ship with a couple stormtroopers. And so we're trying to figure out who that would be, because that's something we're expecting from the story. In fact, I think that Deborah Chow even says it in the sizzle reel that, there's these Jedi hunters out there trying to get him. And we've kind of anticipated that. So that's certainly going to be part of the storyline. I like the fact, too, that when that drops, it comes out Thursday, it gets immediately yanked.
Yeah.
Then it comes out Friday, and everybody's like, oh, so that was it? And, so everybody's kind of disappointed about it. And then did you see the tweet from O'Shea Jackson?
Yes.
He says, damn, even I was waiting for the Kenobi trailer, and I'm in the damn thing. I love that. What a great tweet.
I liked that the concept art, the shot of him where he looked a bit aged, and he's sitting on I don't know what he was on. He was on some
Giant llama?
Yeah, it might have been like a llama or something. But he looks like really like overdressed, I thought, like for the Tatooine desert. He would always wear like simple,
It was winter.
thin robes.
It's the winter months.
That's what I'm wondering. Like maybe it's not gonna take place completely on Tatooine. Maybe it's gonna be. I'm assuming it's gonna be. All
Well,
over
with
the
that
place.
concept art, I mean, there's some flashy spots on Tatooine if it all takes place on Tatooine.
Yeah, they show that one shot, that big, great like hallway shot with all the troopers. That looked interesting.
Right.
They show, of course, the Darth shot with the hollow in front of him. So I don't know who he's supposed to be talking to there. And I don't see his hands, so who knows what he's doing while he's watching that hollow.
It's like memory holograms with Padme.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's an OnlyFans hologram.
There we go. Yeah.
They have a shot where there's like some pilots on top of snow speeders. Did you see that? It's real fast, but there's actually snow
No.
speeders like on Hoth.
Okay. There's one that looks like it's Coruscant, like the streets of Coruscant. Looks real busy.
Yes.
And then there's like 5, right? So I think So just a couple of teases, but I really thought they were releasing that because it already been leaked. So they're like, okay, we'll fuck with them, and then the trailer will come out that night or something, like when they were done with Disney Plus Day. But it never.
Yes.
It hasn't happened.
I was not wanting a lot. I just wanted a tease. I just wanted something that, you know how they do those real early days teases where it's a lot of voiceover, maybe a couple images, maybe that money shot at the end where it just like shows his face or it shows him, ignite the saber, whatever whatever it's going to be. That's all I was really hoping for. Just something to kind of get the juices flowing. So I was just a little sad that it wasn't anything more than it was, especially since like it looked like it's something that they had done a long time ago, and that was kind of all they had.
I thought that one of the things I thought I took away from the little sizzle reel or whatever you guys want to call it.
Is this from last week? The terms I'm learning so much.
Yeah, we're all slowly realizing what a child I am. No, you could see it. Like Ewan McGregor's, like he was palpable with his excitement, right?
Yes,
Talking about
yes.
like working with Hayden Christensen again. He's like he was almost like a giddy little school kid at some point. And he's like, well, we've really been working hard on it, and we just hope you really like it. And it's like you could tell he kind of still is a bit in awe, I guess you would say, of being a part of the biggest.
Well, if you
film
remember,
franchise.
if this was shot over a year ago, this was about the time he was finally allowed to talk about it, and he said, "I've been holding this secret for 4 or 5 years."
Yeah.
So yeah, he was really like, oh.
And you get to see a couple shots of him working the lightsaber, wearing a mask, so like they're filming during COVID and stuff. So it was a pretty cool little inside look, I thought.
I think that it would have been just enough for us had we not seen it the day before. Like we would have accepted that, I think.
I think we would have accepted it more for sure. I think we would have been like, okay, that's all they're going to give us. But I think what really is my bigger issue is that it was like, so you gave us that, you gave us Under the Helmet, and that was it.
Yeah.
What the fuck with Andor, Bad Batch, anything else? I didn't get any sort of timeline on when the shit's coming out. I need a damn timeline. We've got shows to schedule here. I need to know when these series are coming out.
My spreadsheets need they have holes.
huge holes, huge
yeah.
gaping holes with just question marks, you know? So it's very confusing for me. But
Well, there's a celebration or something coming up, or the Investors Day is probably December again, right? So
yeah, there's
they're
something
holding
coming up
off
later this month or in a couple weeks or something like that. So I'm hoping that something's released or revealed then. I just would really like to know how they're stacking it up, because I mean, we had this whole thing in our head of, oh, you know, it's going to be Book of Boba, then it's going to be Andor, then it's going to be Kenobi, then it's going to be Bad Batch, then it's going to be Mando. And at this point, it seems like I'm not sure how they're going to do that. And if they do try to do what we've talked about with the Kenobi coming out May the 4th, then there's a tighter window there where you couldn't squeeze in all of Bad Batch. So I don't know how they're going to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, last May the 4th, we were very sad because we got the Bad Batch opening, and then we got nothing else.
Right.
And then here we are again, where we thought we were going to get a little bit more. So it's our own fault for building it up in our heads. I actually saw that Star Wars Newsnet that I get a lot of news from. They actually sent out a tweet and apologized.
There was a few of those,
about how they had put all this stuff out there. Like, these are all our sources said this. It's like, we don't understand why there wasn't more that was released. We're really sorry.
Well, it's the same with the Spider-Man trailer that's supposed to be coming out. Like, it's been rumored, like it's done. Well, there's two of them, but Marvel and Sony are fighting over which one to put out, because Sony wants to do the big reveal and Disney wants to hold back. Everyone's like, well, it's kind of no point in holding back the big reveal at this point. It's kind of a worst kept secret in Hollywood, you know?
Right.
So, but now they just released today that they're doing a big trailer launch on the 16th. So they're doing it in stages.
Oh, yay for Spider-Man. Cool.
So only 19 of the 20 Marvel projects we were able to see that are coming out. We got some sort of update on. Just that one we didn't.
Yeah. See, we're doing the wrong podcast.
Yeah.
I guess so. There was a tweet from Disney Plus early in the day, and it had all these title cards coming at you, and it had Andor and Bad Batch in it. Yep. Like, there was going to be some news that day about it. It's a little frustrating. I mean, I'm not going to get way too worked up about it or anything, because whatever. Like I said, a lot of this stuff we're just going off rumors and probably desires to see stuff. So it's really not our schedule, it's theirs. But at the same time, it's like, a little disappointed.
Yeah. Did you see their tweet from earlier where they said, "Hey, Cole, Jay, and Matt, sorry we fucked up your guys' night."
That's why they sent us the trailer. Yeah,
we knew you guys were planning on really, going over Disney Plus Day. We only got two things for you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this on the video, we are going to reveal the first trailer right now.
Okay.
Wow, it's really cool.
Oh my God! Holy shit! Did you see that? No.
We need you guys to flood Disney Plus's Twitter.
I did not expect to see Padme still alive with robot legs.
You know what? We need to get Filoni on the show next week. He needs to answer for this.
Yep.
Right. Get him on the fucking horn.
I'll do Christmas vacation. I'll drive over there. I'll kidnap him.
Fucking cousin Eddie.
Bring him back in my Winnebago.
Kicking him in the ass with a bow on him. You just slam him down in the studio. Matt's got questions for you.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Matt logs in on Skype. He's like, immediately disconnects. See you later.
Filoni's trying to buy her love pack, so he does a quick sketch of Leia and Mon Mothma.
I heard you guys are into this sort of thing.
Yeah. BB-8's fucking looking over.
Well, that's it for Kenobi as far as I had. The only other thing I was going to note is just that I do like how they do the little sand splatter on the logo, and I just noticed, which I should have noticed way long ago, that it's the hilt. Is it the eye in Kenobi is the hilt? I didn't even notice that until recently.
Now this might be because I've not watched Revenge of the Sith, in years. But does he have his father's lightsaber, or is that something that might happen? Does Kenobi have Vader's Anakin saber?
Yeah. Yes.
So he's already got it. Okay, because I was wondering if maybe that's something we'll see in Kenobi is how he gets it and gives it to Luke later. Because
I could not.
I thought after he cuts them all up and leaves them there to burn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a zoom in. He reaches down, grabs it, and picks
like I said, I haven't seen it in a long time. So.
Okay. No.
Yeah.
60%. Looking for questions. It's a safe spot to ask questions.
No bad ideas here.
Yeah.
There's no dumb question.
Do you have anything else you want to move on to Under the Helmet?
I'm ready to move on.
Under the kilt.
So this was cool. It was interesting to see them go all the way back and show all the design elements. I think some of the stuff we knew, but it was cool that they were they show him in the all white suit originally.
Right.
And they talk about how it was going to be like an army of them, but they didn't have the money, which I thought was so interesting because if this was later, with the technology later, they would only need the one suit because they'd have them all on
Right.
screen. You know what I mean?
And it's also cool that like you see that idea recycled in Rebels, where they have the jump troopers, where we just talked about it, we covered it,
Yeah.
where Sabine's
Saxon.
battling them. Yeah,
Yeah.
Saxon.
Right.
Inus. Saxon.
No.
Yeah, so it's cool that like the things you never know if that's where he pulled that idea from or not, or if it was just something that he always like it's gonna be a Mandalorian battle, let's put some jump troopers in there, or what did we call them? They named them. Was it Rocket Trooper? It was Rocket Troopers, wasn't it?
I think it's Rocket Troopers, yeah.
Yeah,
I think you're right. But yeah, I mean, I think obviously Lucas was involved with the Clone Wars cartoon stuff, but I guess he was involved a bit in Rebels, right? Like, but not as heavily. It was more Filoni. Is that correct? Or was he not involved in Rebels at all?
No, because Rebels was Disney. It was Rebels was
so
one of the
post.
first Disney things.
Yeah. So he wouldn't have been involved then.
Yeah.
But clearly Filoni is like any old shit he gets a reference to. I mean, he and Favreau talked about it a ton on the original making of Mando. They'd find all this old footage, all these old props, these old characters, and they would find a way to weave them into the story. So it makes sense that they would kind of recycle that outfit into something they could use for Rebels. So I thought that was cool, but. It was I can't remember the guy's name, but he was talking about how he and Ralph McQuarrie.
It was Joe Johnson. He's like one of the original artists of Boba Fett, and he's a director. Okay. Like he did The Rocketeer, he did the first Captain America movie. What else has he done? He's done a few movies.
People that fly, huh?
He does. Yeah, he's a good director.
Okay, so he was talking about how he and McQuarrie went kind of back and forth and like kept adding things and stuff to eventually get that costume the way they wanted it. And I thought it was cool how they talked about how like the T design, almost like a medieval knight kind of look to it.
Right.
I was real into the way that design came together. What? Are you laughing at me?
No, I was just reminding.
You're thinking of the Roman helmet. There's something coming.
You fucking took it right out of my head. Oh, okay. The Roman helmet. Yep.
Okay.
Do you know what the Roman helmet is, Matt?
No.
It's where you like put your knees by a girl's temple, right? And then you just put your schlong down her nose, and it's like a Roman helmet. It looks like a helmet from the gladiator days. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Like our audience always thinks they're going to come here and learn nothing, but they walk away with knowledge.
That's our fact
that they can use
for the week.
In real
when
life.
When you said the Roman helmet, I almost said
Let's just move on.
Of course I do, lad.
Yeah.
No, it was cool to watch them just he gives the guy creative control to redesign that white stormtrooper.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just like, he's like, I hope he likes this orange, and I
He
like
doesn't.
And then he's like, what did he say? He was just like heating up the plastic and like hitting it with a rock, so it made it look like there was dents or scuffs. And I'm like, that's kind of cool. I mean, you never know the process that goes into making,
How they aged it, give it an age, that war-torn look.
Yeah.
And one of the things they talked about too was they went into the whole like he only had 6 minutes of screen time and very few lines in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Why was he so intriguing? Like, why was this guy so mesmerizing and captured so many people's imaginations when he really was a bit role and really died in a fucking stupid way? Let's be real.
Yeah.
And so how is this guy like maintain this kind of badass image based off just that limited amount? And so and they were kind of getting into the whole like, there's this mystery behind him. You don't really know where he comes from. He's very quiet. It leaves a lot for you to kind of make up in your head and kind of guess about.
I think that's exactly what it was. It was the toy, right? Kids got to make their own idea of this mystery character.
And the holiday special. Don't
Right.
forget.
Yes, which we've had a FACPAtoid about that. About that in the Marin County parade.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That footage was hilarious.
Yeah, it was so crazy to see. I was like, why aren't these kids asking for selfies with Boba Fett and Darth Vader? But then I'm like, this is the 1980s. Like they were like the crank cameras, like.
It's called a 35 millimeter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But it's interesting because we are of an age where we knew Boba Fett and the mystery was kind of there behind him, but it wasn't till Attack of the Clones when more about him is really revealed. You don't really know anything about him until then, and then they give you that backstory, and then in the Clone Wars, you get even more of him like as an adolescent and what he's kind of going through there. So it fleshes out his character a lot more, and so I think it's interesting that despite all that, like everybody worried about, I've heard him say this about other characters too, like, oh, I don't want to know everything about his history. Like it's cool to have some sort of mystique about their past. Everything they've done with Boba that they've fleshed out and now showing him going forward, I'm fucking all for it. I think it makes him even look like more of a badass because frankly, there wasn't a lot to go on from before.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool to see the child actor and him like, hey, I'm gonna call you dad, you call me son, and then they just kind of like went with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was also great to see Temuera Morrison like on screen
without his guitar,
without forcing us to listen to his fucking guitar playing. It's like, oh yeah, he's here. Is he gonna drop a couple bars for us? Maybe do a few riffs.
They show him and he's just trying to do the G. He can only do he's terrible at it right now. That's where it started.
La la.
I just picked up this guitar. Let's probably be good at it in a few years. It's the prequel version of it.
Boba Fett, if you will.
Mm.
Yeah, you're 1 fret too high there. You need to move that down. George is teaching him.
He's not wearing any pants. Sorry. I have a question for you guys.
Yep.
Did you guys notice how eerily...
It's not question and answer time, Cole.
Oh, okay. There are no dumb questions, so I figured, well, I'm in my safe space.
You are.
I'm allowed to ask this question. Did you guys notice how eerily similar Temuera Morrison's voice is to the original actor's voice? Like, he really nailed that.
To Jeremy Bullock?
Yes. Right? So, like, when they were playing the clips of him, they said he had 4 lines of dialogue, and I'm like, golly, that sounds just like him in Mandalorian.
Didn't they go back in the special editions or whatever? They dubbed his voice over.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, I have the original theatrical release here.
But you just happen to have that right on
I just happen to have it right here on the table next to me.
Wow.
Is that a DVD?
This is a DVD. And it's funny too because on the cover, you can see that they took these the photos for the cover later because Han's hair is like cut short. So they're like, oh, we need to come back in here.
Yeah. It's got a flat top.
I'll have to have a listen to it again because you're right. I think that they when they re-released, they put his voice in. Mm-hmm. I think though, Cole, I think the voice from before isn't. I remember it being not that different. Like I think it's close.
You can't dub it. What did they dub it when he was talking with his helmet off? They couldn't have, right? Like that's him. You know what I'm saying? Like you never know with fucking technology, right? What they can do.
Well, I don't know what you're asking.
I'm saying, like, so when Temuera Morrison doesn't have the helmet on, he's wearing his monk outfit, and he's talking to Mando on the hillside.
Yeah,
like that's the same voice. It's just not him with the filter, the mask on, right?
Yes.
So that's not like Jeremy Bullock's voice, like put in, is it?
No, it's the other way around. After
they put Temuera Morrison's voice in the original trilogy to make it jive with what happens later. They dubbed over Jeremy Bullock's voice.
The same with where they put Hayden Christensen into the original trilogy.
Right. When the ghost scene happens at the end of Return of the Jedi.
It's not the old man. It's Hayden Christensen now.
Hold on a second.
Are we blowing your mind right now?
Well, hang on. No, hang on. So in 4, 5, and 6, where Boba Fett, that's Temuera Morrison's voice?
Yes.
In the re-released version.
Yes.
Okay,
in the original, it was not.
So I must have listened to the audio in this little snippet from the re-release.
It was from the re-release. Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Have you guys seen Star Wars?
That's awesome. The thing that threw me off is he said, "But is that his voice without the helmet on?" I was like, "What does he mean by that?"
You guys had me fucking. You had my mind blown. I just want to know whose fucking voice.
You're like dead. Jeremy Bullock is still doing dialogue.
Yeah, I was like, I was under the impression that he was dead. Yes.
Yes.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots.
They had him read like War and Peace, Jeremy Bullock, on record before he died, just so they have it the whole.
It's like the Luke Skywalker where they dubbed his voice.
Yeah, they got him. They did, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So they had every letter of the alphabet.
Oh Christ! Okay. The only other thing I was going to say is I love the Rancho Obi-Wan collector.
Have you ever seen him before?
It sounded vaguely familiar, but I don't remember seeing all this imagery.
I love how he's got 2 $100,000 pieces that shoot the actual like rocket, just sitting on his mantle.
Yeah,
yeah.
He's like, these ones shoot. The rest, he's got 2 of them, and like these go for 6 figures in the auction. I'm like,
I don't know.
Low key flex, Star Wars geek.
Well, he takes the fucking job at Lucasfilm. He's like, well, I'm going to need a house to store my stuff, and I'm like, how much is Lucasfilm paying this motherfucker
and
to
for
buy
what?
a house, turn all the chicken farms into fucking Star
chicken farm in
Wars
Sedona
heated places, and then he has the money to collect everything that's ever been made?
What is his job, or what was his job?
They didn't say, but I think his job now is just to run that place. Like it's a big tourist trap.
He's an archivist.
Yeah.
He does archives.
Yep. There you go.
And he's like, and Lucasfilm still won't send me any free toys.
That collection is wild.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is insane how far how that goes in just every direction. It's pretty nuts. It reminded me a little bit of the guy I saw in Washington, the creepy guy.
Oh yeah,
the garage sale, the glorified garage sale
with the mannequin or what?
Yeah.
Some weird thing looking at you. What was that?
Slave Leia mannequin.
That's what it was. Yeah.
That thing's been used a few times.
Oh, absolutely.
Every day when the fucking doors get locked. And on lunch.
Oh, Princess, I noticed you've been looking at me all day as I walk through the shop.
Stop it. We've got customers in here.
I'll bring Mon Mothma in here later.
Boy. I'll be Mon Mothma.
And the store smelled like Mon Moth balls. I'm telling you, it was really nasty.
Mon Moth Darth balls.
Oh, I love this show. I hope you do too, listener.
Only other thing do you have anything else on under the hood? Whatever?
Oh, I'll always have something. Just, I mean, go ahead.
Well, no, I was just going to mention on the Andor front really quickly, since we didn't get anything on Andor. Something that came out, I think, like maybe 2 days before Disney Plus Day, was they said that there was some sort of comment from the Disney CFO where he was saying that Andor is scheduled to come out in Q4, which for Disney, their Q4 is July to September.
Yeah.
This is when I sent that DM where I said, this is horse shit. Because I was very confused as to why it was so late compared to what we thought it was going to be. And it just made me wonder, how are they going to schedule that stuff, which we already talked about. So I just wanted to.
Did you put it into your spreadsheet? Do we have what is that called? Your Venn diagram? What's crossing over? What's touching? Tips?
Too many things are touching. Too many tips. Too many tips are touching.
Right.
And I don't like it. And so I
Makes me feel icky.
I just hope that investor day or celebration or whatever it's supposed to be. I was trying to figure out what the hell that event is coming up. Sheds a little light to say, hey, by the way, after Book of Boba, this comes out. Like, just give us a fucking idea of what's coming. That's all. That's all I ask
My podcast. This is my big push for 2022 is to get Matt in on one of those calls.
Yeah.
Well, Bob, this isn't running along my spreadsheet.
It's Robert.
I could see like Matt becoming like the George Costanza of Disney.
You have to like beep in to get on. I just keep beeping. They're like, what? Who is that? Hi, this is Matt. Just go
Matt
right
from
into
Raisins Are. Hello.
I got a list of projects here. I just need some time on. Okay, guys, can we just go through these real quick?
Cole Said's gonna explode if he doesn't figure out when this coming.
And my two co-hosts will kill me if I don't ask you. They want to pitch you an idea.
Does the carpet match the drapes? You see him all hair slicked back in that fucking dock? Right. Like, what has he got going? Where's your cowboy hat, Dave?
Yeah, he's not been wearing it lately.
It looked like they were on the Skywalker Ranch campus.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Lucas, both of them, when they were doing their little interviews. Looked like the main house.
Well, I think those interviews were older.
They could be.
Yeah. They were pulling. There was only a few things. Like, I've never seen like all that footage together. Obviously, that's the point of this show. But like through the years, you watch enough stuff. There was a lot of that stuff that I'd seen from other things. Although the Ranchero stuff, I've seen. I can't remember how or when I saw that and what it was attached to. But the whatever
Toys
they were
that
showing,
made us, maybe. Is that what that was? Or movies that made us?
No, I don't. I feel like it was long ago, like much further.
Galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, maybe I was there and I forgot.
How to collect toys and get laid?
Yep.
Yeah, that was it.
That's it.
A great
Was
documentary.
it one of the trailers you downloaded in 1995?
It was a conference I went to.
All men.
Oh, yeah. He lied.
Singles cruise, just guys, just Star Wars fans.
One thing I wanted to bring up too was there was a note, I can't remember if it was in this thing about Andor, where it was saying like how Miss Marvel or whatever was coming out around that time, and then it would have to be this time instead. Are they feeling like they can't put Star Wars and Marvel series out at the same time?
Well, whoever was saying that's got to be out of their fucking mind. Because, Disney's been trying to put content out, they're spacing it. But
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, they just announced like there's going to be 17 new things between 22 and 23 next year, and with all the Star Wars, there's no way it's going to cross over. At some point, like Wednesdays aren't going to be their only release day. If anything, it's going to be Marvel will have a release day, Star Wars will. Like they'll start. They're going to have enough content where it's going to be like a network, right? Like every night there's like 2 or 3 things hitting, or every day. They're not going to launch at 8:00 at night prime time, you know.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, I would think that they would have to have those overlap.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't make any sense otherwise. There's just too many series.
Yeah.
So that just I was confused by that. Anyway. All right. Anything else on the old Disney Plus day?
Non-plus day.
I'm happy. I'm happy with all the plus. There better be more pluses. We better see a Kenobi trailer soon. That's all I got to say. I'm thinking maybe like right around, okay, so do we see a Kenobi trailer or do we see a full Book of Boba Fett trailer first?
Well, there's a question for you too. Which one are you more excited about?
Kenobi.
I am too. I
Yeah.
don't know why.
I think it's going to feel more cinematic to me, I think. Like it's going to be, I mean, there's so many routes that thing, you know, we're kind of going in no man's land with Book of Boba Fett. And I guess we are with Kenobi too, but there's enough where we're like, I'm excited for things that I think that we're going to see. I have no idea what the fuck we're going to see in Book of Boba Fett at this point.
Well, yeah, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost a little bit more excited for Book of Boba just because it's next. But
Okay.
in general, yeah, I think Kenobi. If you put them side by side, I would say Kenobi.
You know, I was going to say, speaking of Andor, I'm excited because it's Star Wars, but I saw someone they were posting like there's a feed or a couple that I follow. I don't know if it was that or if it was just a Star Wars one, but it was the cinematography from Rogue One. And there was all these shots, and I was like, I forgot how fucking like gorgeous Rogue One is. Like just the stills that they posted. And I'm like, and they've got Gavin, what's his name?
Gavin Newsom.
The guy that's directing it. I forget his name. He came in and fixed the back half and fixed the movie and everything. And but he is directing Andor, and I'm like, man, if they got the cinematography that looks like Rogue One that's attached to this, like all of a sudden,
Is it Tony Gilroy?
Yes, it's Tony Gilroy.
He's
Right?
directing Andor.
Yeah,
still.
it was Garth somebody who directed Rogue One.
Right, and then
And
yes,
then
he had to
Gilroy
come
came in
clean
and
up
fixed
fix the third act and all
the
that.
third-
Yeah,
yep,
right.
Yeah, but
Gareth
it's-
Edwards.
Gareth Edwards. Yep.
God damn, that took too long.
See, that's why there's 3 of us.
Well, and if you look at the 5 movies that have been released under Disney, I think Rogue One might be my favorite.
Yeah.
I love it. I think Force Awakens is great, but I think Rogue One might have an edge for me.
You got a
fucking
thing for
adore that
Cassian Andor, I think.
I might, because I'm real excited about that series. I
You're-
feel like
yeah,
I'm one of the
that's what I was
few.
gonna
I feel like everybody kind of talks about Kenobi, they talk about Boba because it's next, and then just the Andor gets lost.
Is it the espionage aspects, you think?
Maybe.
The good
kinda like
guys
that
doing
aspect.
bad things type thing?
It just feels like it's going to be dark, and it's going to show us things and parts of the Star Wars universe that we don't normally see.
Yeah.
Because it's not like all heroics. It's like the down and dirty day-to-day shit that had to get done for that rebellion to work. I like that.
The grind.
It better not be Mission
grind.
of the Week shit, like some Knight Rider shit where he just shows up on a planet and some lady's in distress and he helps her out and then he's like, I gotta go, after he sleeps with her.
I think he's going to put the mission above the man.
Next week on Andor.
Because when you see him in Rogue One, he's a bit of a hardened
Right.
shooting your fucking informant in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Just calm down. Shush, 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 shush.
That's right. And that was if I recall, that was a scene that was added.
How am I going to get out of here
later.
without this arm? My arms. I'm not going to get. Oh, don't you worry.
You're not getting out of here.
It was added later?
I believe that scene was one of the additional shots they put in to kind of give him a little bit more like character depth.
Well, and okay, that's interesting. But you have referred to before to the Underworld series that was going to be made, and if you look out on YouTube, you find video where they actually like shots and stuff.
Yeah.
That's how that scene felt from
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
It was, you know what I mean? It's almost Blade Runner esque. I
Very much so.
like that feel.
Mm-hmm.
You guys ready for the Maul Bag?
I've been ready since last episode, or the one before where we had one. Yes, is the answer.
Hello there.
You've got mail.
It's funny because we all just stare at each other. while
There's
it's real
a
slow.
long breeze at the end of that.
It's way too long. I should cut that down. So we have one entry in the Maul Bag this week, and it's from Jeannie. This is kind of a stream of consciousness email that we got
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, all about Cole.
She's listening to our show and like kind of jotting down notes. So here's what she says. I decided to jot down notes while listening. So let's see how this goes as I'm working. Number 1. Now all I want to do is rub Cole behind his ear and tell him he's a good boy for following the timeline. And then she goes on to say, I spent way too long typing this because I did not want to pet his belly or his head due to obvious reasons.
What
are the obvious reasons? That's my question.
That you would like it? That she would like it?
First and foremost, I have very few off-limit zones, and behind my ear is one of them.
Oh, so it's got to be the belly or the head.
Or the anus.
Yeah.
That's my new favorite word.
Number 2.
Yeah, I want to know. Follow-up
go ahead.
email,
Sorry.
please, Jeannie. What's the obvious reasons why you can't? Is she saying I'm fat, guys? Behind my belly? She doesn't
No,
pat
I
my
don't
belly.
think so.
No,
Or
I
his
think she's maybe thinking it would be inappropriate or something.
Right, I
For her
think
to
she's
be
saying,
rubbing her
she
belly.
does not dare sexualize you. You're a
Maybe
gentleman and a scholar.
Maybe she likes medium growth because I'm bald on top. I got a big fucking furry belly, and she wants just a well-groomed man.
Oh,
So shave.
Could be.
Maybe a number 2 on the razor, number 2 on the clippers.
Whatever makes you happy, Cole.
If it makes you happy.
If you're happy with yourself, everybody else is going to be happier with you.
Yeah, Jeannie will be happy with whatever you're happy
Okay,
with.
I'm gonna give her the best version of me.
He's a good boy, Cole.
Number 2, Force Ghost being a helicopter mom. What a great thought. She's referring to our Anakin in the Ahsoka series commentary of him just like bugging her the whole time. I would do
Okay.
it like that. Yeah.
Yes. I was like, I needed the trigger. I couldn't recall what exactly that was about.
Yeah. Yep. Number 3, Vader series has always been wanted. So he's going
By
to
her?
show up in a lot of other series. Do you really think he's ever going to get his own series? And do you think it's necessary?
You know, I would prefer I think it'd be better if they did the bits because it makes you want it, right? You're just getting
Yeah.
that little bit. But at the same time, I've got some of the Vader books by Marvel, and they're really fucking good. So if they pursued that story, like I like the first one where he's kind of doubting the Emperor's plans and what he wants to do, and he's going against him, and he's got his own plan. There's some really good shit in there. So
Oh, that could be good.
yeah, so but they could play that in the stuff that they're doing in the next few years too. So
Right.
I'd like to see maybe like an MTV Cribs, Darth Vader.
yo, this is Mustafar.
This is where the magic happens. Could you stop breathing so heavy?
When they leave, they all breathe like
it's really
this.
throwing off our boom mics.
Check out my new whip. This is the TIE Defender.
This one's got shields, bitch.
Now we go down to the lake. Fast forward.
Good luck, Rebels. Eat your heart out, Rebels. Number 4,
Hold on.
Dear Lord. Oh,
Hold on. Did you ever see they did like a Cribs of the Falcon?
Millennium Falcon?
Yeah, with was it Lando or was it?
Oh, yeah, I think you're
Remember
right.
that?
And I vaguely remember that where he was showing like off, his wardrobe and all
where I
that shit.
keep my capes and this is the bed. I think it's Lando that does it. And he walks around and shows the whole Millennium Falcon, and it's exactly like a Cribs episode.
Not the new Lando, the old
Yeah,
Lando?
the new one.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah,
it's
the
a
new.
recent.
Yeah, they fucking they've got old Lando with a Colt 45 walking around when this was my ship.
I didn't know if it was an older version
Oh, okay.
of Cribs.
No.
I fucking love you
An
tonight.
older version of Cribs.
Okay, whatever. That wasn't a dumb question.
Well, I mean, if you think like when he was Lando and when they made Cribs 25 years after Star Wars was out, like
Well, Return of the Jedi was what? Fucking
83.
83?
Yeah.
And then Cribs became big in like the 90s.
84, 85.
87? I was going to try to make this math work.
The first one was on Andor. It was an Ewok walking around.
You know what?
Check out my tree fort.
Fuck you
Treehouse.
guys. I'm quitting the show.
Isn't this wicked?
I'm taking this cat and I'm going home.
He's still shook by the Tamura Morrison voice.
You guys really have thrown me off. I don't know what I can say anymore.
Number 4, Dear Lord, Adam Sandler's Star Wars movie would be horrible. Oh, come on.
I don't even remember this.
Yeah, I don't ever remember
What was
anything
this
from
joke
that
about?
podcast.
I think Cole made the reference because he brought it from it was the Happy Madison. Somehow it got back to that, and you said, "Oh, they should do an
yeah.
Adam Sandler." And then I did a really stupid Adam Sandler dumb voice, and you were like, "What the fuck was that?"
Was it Little Nicky? Did we make a joke about Little Nicky?
think
I made
you
a
tried-
voice like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
show us what. Do it again one more time.
Oh, I don't think I could do it again. It was pretty bad. May the fourth be with you. It was something like that. Terrible.
Please stop
Okay.
looking at me when you do your impressions. I appreciate it.
I'll stare off into the distance.
Close your eyes like this. Just cover them. Sorry.
Back to Cole. Number 5. Timelines are not my strong suit. Cole loses all praise given. Wow.
There goes your rubbins.
Well, that's the thing is, I say this every episode.
Yeah, I
I
know.
don't know what the problem is here.
She missed the last 43 episodes.
Do you not accept me for who I am, Jeannie? Yeah. You know, I've been trying to change. I'm one man.
Very
Take
critical.
him as he
Very
is,
critical.
man.
Number 6 now.
I'm waiting for
anybody's-
this one. I'm waiting for you to read this
I
one. I'm
want to
glad
see
you're
what the
reading.
censorship looks like on this one.
Just use the word cunt, Cole. See you next Tuesday spells synt, S-Y-N-T. Use cunt when it is what you mean, or grow a larger vocabulary. But cunt is a great word. I may have to send you a voice memo with me saying this a few ways. Oh boy.
I'm in for that. But that's a Family Guy joke. He's like, she's a real see you next Tuesday, and it's like you use text speak with the C, the letter C,
Right,
right.
and the U. Next
No,
Tuesday.
that goes back a long time. That's
Yeah.
that's a nice way of saying it. Yeah.
You're right. Why don't you look up phonetics, Jeannie? Just so you know.
Ooh, she
That's
might
twice.
have some responses
Some
here.
fighting words tonight.
That memo might come through after all. This one I don't remember. She says best call to arms, murder. I don't remember this reference at all.
Call to arms, like leading someone into battle. Like,
Was this our top 10 crimes?
Maybe,
Okay.
maybe. That's a good guess.
Hey, Jeannie, we're going to need not only your questions, but
Some
like either a
context.
minute marker or, well, what I mean by this is, really fill in the thesis here.
Because we're just grasping at straws.
You're talking to a bunch of dummies, I mean.
saying how I lose everything I podcast. I never remember anything I
You don't.
podcast. I don't remember any of this shit.
And I'm spacious on this because I'm edited. Usually editing helps me.
Exactly. The benefit I have is I edit it, so
Yeah.
I remember all this, or most of this stuff. That one I don't remember. Number 8, Jedi Fallen Order is the best. I agree. Fucking great game if you haven't played it. Number 9, Sabine is now known as Rachel. Thanks, Cole. That's
remember
all I
this.
hear now. I'll be there for you.
Compared to Rachel Friends, the haircut.
Sabine?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she changes her hair all the time. Yeah, got it.
And finally, number 10, I stopped listening due to having to do a crisis pre-screen and have not gotten back. So here is the end of this email. I now have 20 minutes left on number 43 and number 44. I'm now behind. Well, what's more important, Jeannie?
Crisis
The crisis
pre-screens?
line or our show?
And also, she listened to both of them at the same time. How does she have 20 minutes left on both of them?
She stops at a certain point in each one.
She says, I now have 20 minutes left on 43. She forgot her comma. And
Yeah.
I'm 44. And 44, and now I'm behind.
There you go.
What
Crisis.
a CUNT. I mean,
Crisis pre-screen.
how dare you?
Let's be honest, Jeannie. You're probably not going to save the person on the phone. So just go back and listen to the show.
You know what?
I
Just
mean,
tell them to listen to this episode. That'll keep them alive an hour and a half at least.
do you ever have feelings of self-hatred?
That would be probably one of the most evil things ever. Like to just try to wedge in your podcast if you were somebody who was a crisis line person. Hey, have you ever listened to this podcast? It's really good. They
Plug it.
fire it up and they're like, it's you.
It saved my life.
Funny.
Did you review yet or don't do anything drastic until you review.
Wouldn't it be crazy if we got 100% prescribers from the fucking crisis hotline? That'd be
Like
great.
everybody, like
Subscribers.
when she puts them on hold,
Rather.
it goes to our podcast.
That
we're
might
going to
not
hell.
work out well.
Or Mustafar, whichever you prefer.
Yeah, totally.
It's on the move.
Thank you, Jeannie.
All right, that's
Again, FACPApod@gmail.com if you'd like to send in an email to us. Thank you.
Right. Give us more stream of consciousness while you're listening. Go ahead and just write down your thoughts, and we'll hit every one of them for you.
Or you can live tweet as well, right?
Right.
Yeah, for
Matt's ready to take those down too.
I'm all over that.
He's at the dashboard all day long.
Constant. I got little news updates coming in on my phone. I'm ready to go.
Oh man. All right. How about a FACPAtoid?
How about it?
All right. So the question, let me ask you this. I hope you didn't look it up. I put it in code a little bit because I was like, Matt's going to look this up and try to have the answer. What A-list actor was first cast as Darth Maul in episode 1?
Is the code that you put E1 and you didn't think I'd figure that out?
No, I just put Darth.
Oh, you did earlier.
stop
Okay,
it.
I see now. For episode 1, so for Phantom Menace.
Yes.
Like so a kid.
Darth Maul, not Darth Vader.
Right.
Oh, Darth Maul, sorry.
I did the same thing.
Now, that movie came out in 1999. Starred.
Insert Leo DiCaprio meme.
He was very close to being Anakin.
I know. God, imagine how different that would have been.
Thank you. That made my day that morning when you put that in our chat, by the way. That was great.
Fuck, Maul.
This might blow your hair back.
I got nothing.
Darth Maul,
Yeah.
who was the A-list actor?
Yeah.
Tom
Not
Cruise.
then. Not then, but is now.
1999?
Right. Not then.
It's 1999.
Chris
He
Pratt.
was known. He was known. Yeah, it was Chris Pratt.
Give us a hint.
Uh,
And by hint, I mean a movie that he's been in.
the name escapes me right now.
His name?
No, that'd be the wrong actor anyways. Okay, so
Give me a star.
I'll give you Sicario.
Sicario?
Josh
Jinx?
Brolin.
I hated that
Who was the
movie.
other? Who else was in Sicario? Oh. Fucking the guy who was in episode 8.
Yep.
Mark Hamill.
Benicio
What's
del
his name?
Toro.
Benicio del Toro.
Oh, yeah.
Said originally George Lucas casted the actor Benicio del Toro for the role of Darth Maul in the film The Phantom Menace. However, it was reported that the actor was not pleased with some of the changes made to the script, which, if you recall, he says, like 7 things, which removed a large amount of the lines that del Toro had to deliver. As a result, Benicio del Toro dropped out of the film and was later replaced by Ray Park, who could not deliver any lines himself. During the final cut of the film, the actor was instead dubbed over by Peter... I don't know how to say this guy's
Here we
name.
go again.
Peter Safran-Ononowitz. For the scenes that he was in. Did you know that?
It wasn't his voice?
No, he was the actor. He's best known for 2 things. He was one of the pilots in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Peter Serafinowicz?
Yes, that lived on the. He was part of the what's the group? The people that Glenn Close was their leader, right? And he played the Tick in the new version that was on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
The 2 things. So yeah, there was I guess 3 people involved with Darth Maul, but I never knew that Benicio del Toro was cast as that at one point.
That's crazy, especially when you consider just the physicality of the role.
It would have been completely different, right?
Yeah.
And
I mean,
his
Ray
hair.
Park is like a crazy martial artist.
Right.
So what were they going to do with that? I don't know. I guess
Maybe-
then you say, well, Alec Guinness was a lightsaber wielding man in one of the movies, so
That's true.
they could do anything. Huh.
That's it. That's all I got.
I'd say Darth Maul did a little bit more than Alec Guinness.
Yeah, I would say so too.
Yeah. And his effects were a little bit
I think
better.
we brought this up before, but did you say you seen it? Where someone redid the whole scene.
Matt brought that up.
Yeah,
They actually redid the sabers, right?
They redid a New Hope fight scene with Alec Guinness. And
it's all CGI. It's fucking awesome.
So
It's
little
pretty sweet.
Little Coley was just hanging out at the house, and he's been sick. Obviously. COVID Cole, and we watched A New Hope together. And I'm just like watching these. I'm like, man, I'm so
A new Taupe.
I didn't get like into it again as much as the first part of that movie is so slow.
It's very slow.
But then like when you get to the Death Star attack scene, that's when you really get into it. And I put down my phone. I'm just like,
Yeah.
Red 5 standing by. I'm ready. Like watching
it's your part.
I'm
yeah.
getting to it. Like I love that part. And then, but yeah, man, the battle scenes, they just don't compare. Like you take the episode 3 battle scene between fucking Kenobi and Anakin.
Right.
It's just so good. Like, I don't know. Everyone poo-poos on episode 3. That's probably like my 4th favorite Star Wars movie. I liked it.
What's number 3?
What's number 3?
Yeah.
I told you this in the car ride home,
You gave
didn't
me
I?
the 2.
What did I say?
You said 5 and 7.
5 and 7. And then I said 5, 7. 5, 7. What did I say for number 3?
I don't know.
6.
6. Yeah. 6.
Yeah.
Return of
5,
the Jedi?
7, 6, 4, 3. 5, 7, 6, 4, 3. 5, 7, 6, 4, 3.
All right, listeners, thank you so much for listening, and until next time.
I fucking totally forgot my line.
Never tell
Never
us the
tell
odds.
us the odds.
That was
not
a
in front of me.
long pause.
Give Matt a clean one.
Never tell us the odds.
In our experience, there's no such thing as luck.
We have spoken.